Welcome to the land of timeless beauty, rich traditions, and unforgettable wonders. This is Pakistan. From the towering peaks of the Karakoram to the golden sands of the Thar Desert, from the lush green valleys of Swat and Hunza to the deep blue shores of Gwadar, Pakistan is a country where nature whispers stories older than time. But Pakistan is more than just landscapes. It's a living tapestry of diverse cultures, languages, and heritage. Every city, every village, every street tells a story of ancient civilizations and modern dreams, of artisans weaving magic into carpets, of calligraphers painting poetry with ink, of music echoing through Sufi shrines and marketplaces full of color, spice, and life. In every corner of Pakistan, you'll find hospitality so warm, it feels like home, whether you sip chai under the stars in a remote village, or walk the bustling streets of Lahore, Karachi, or Peshawar. The spirit of Pakistan embraces you. This is a land where ancient forts still stand tall, where traditions are celebrated with pride, and where every sunset over a mountain or mosque feels like a moment out of a dream. Pakistan is not just a country. It is an experience of beauty, of resilience, of soul. Welcome to the wonder of Pakistan. Across the land of Pakistan lie echoes of ancient glory, civilizations that rose, flourished, and faded, but never truly disappeared. In Sindh, under the watchful sun, rests Mohenjo-Daro, a marvel of the Indus Valley civilization, 4,500 years old, with precise city planning, grand bath, and silent mystery. Here, history is carved in burnt brick and wrapped in unanswered questions. Far north, on a hilltop in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, stands Takai Bai, a Buddhist monastic complex from the 1st century. Its peaceful ruins overlook the plains, whispering tales of meditation, philosophy, and spiritual pursuit. A sacred place, frozen in time. In the heart of Punjab, deep beneath the earth's surface, lies a glowing wonder, the Kura salt mine. Discovered over 2,000 years ago by the horses of Alexander the Great, this mine is now the second largest of its kind in the world. Its pink tunnels and salt-carved mosques sparkle like crystal veins beneath the land. And in Thada, on the edge of the desert, lies the silent city of the dead, the Maqli necropolis. A vast sea of stone, stretching over 10 kilometers, where saints, kings, and scholars rest beneath intricately carved tombs. Each one a masterpiece of Islamic architecture, Persian calligraphy, and Sindhi soul. These are not just ruins. They are chapters of our shared heritage. Proof that Pakistan has always been a cradle of civilization, culture, and continuity, past and present, stone and spirit. This is the wonder of Pakistan. High in the northern skies of Pakistan, where the earth kisses the heavens, stands a giant, silent, unshaken, eternal. This is K2, the second highest mountain on earth. 8,611 meters of stone, ice, and legend. Its peaks pierce the clouds. Its slopes challenge the bravest. Here, only the determined survive. Because K2 does not welcome, it tests. Yet in its shadows lies a beauty that humbles the soul. A reminder of how small we truly are beneath the crown of Karakoram. From these icy heights, we descend into the green meadows of Shandar Pass, where the sky stretches endlessly and the winds carry ancient rhythms. At 12,000 feet above sea level, this is the highest polo ground in the world. Each year, warriors on horseback clash not just for a trophy, but to honor tradition, brotherhood, and pride. Gilgit versus Chitral. Passion versus skill. As hooves thunder across the grass, Shandar echoes with life, color, and spirit. Further south, in the beating heart of Peshawar, stands a fortress carved by time, Bala Hissar Fort. Its weathered walls have watched empires rise and fall, from the Afghan kings to the Sikhs, from colonial powers to freedom fighters. It is a place of stories, of resistance, royalty, and resilience. Bala Hissar is not just brick and stone. It is memory, living, breathing, and unshaken. And then, deep in the hills of southern Punjab, where progress meets the past, a bridge rises sleek, strong, and symbolic, the Fort Monroe Steel Bridge. Pakistan's first steel bridge in the mountains, built not just to span a valley, but to connect communities, open trade, and unlock a region long left behind. Below it, deep ravines and rugged rocks. Above it, dreams crossing into tomorrow. This is Pakistan, a land where mountains challenge, valleys celebrate, forts remember, and bridges lead the way forward. Every landmark, a story, every path, a journey. So come, discover the peaks, the passes, the past, and the promise of what lies ahead. In the farthest reaches of Pakistan, where the land rises to kiss the clouds, and the silence of the mountains carries more weight than words, lies a world untouched, untamed, and unforgettable. This is a place where three of the world's greatest mountain ranges, the Karakoram, the Himalayas, and the Hindu Kush collide, where time slows down, and nature speaks in the language of snow, stone, and sky. This is not just a region. It is the very soul of the mountains, home to giants like Kedo, Nanga, and Broad Peak, and to valleys so breathtaking they look like paintings come to life. Hansa with its apricot blossoms and ancient forts, where the rivers reflect the stars and deserts bloom in snow. Yasin, Nagar, each valley a world of its own, rich with culture, color, and warmth. Here, the people live with grace, pride, and hospitality that stays with you long after you leave. But reaching this heaven on earth is a journey in itself. Winding through these mountains like a silver thread is one of the most spectacular roads ever built by human hands. The Karakoram Highway, often called the eighth wonder of the world, this legendary highway stretches over 1,300 kilometers, connecting Pakistan to China, through gorges, glaciers, waterfalls, and landslides. Built by the blood and sweat of thousands of Pakistani and Chinese workers, this road is more than asphalt. It is a monument to endurance. From the lush green valleys of Ann to the raw cliffs of Chilas, from the blue waters of lake formed after a tragic landslide, to the ancient rock carvings near Gilgit, every mile of this journey tells a story of pain, of abandon, of resilience. You don't just drive on the Karakoram highway. You feel it in your bones, your breath, and your soul. And then, as you climb higher and higher, past glaciers, past the clouds, you arrive at a place where the world seems to stop. Past the highest paved international Bayordan crossing in the world. 15,397 feet above sea level, where Pakistan meets China. Here, the air is thin, but the spirit soars. Surrounded by peaks and guarded by silence. The Friendship Gate stands as a symbol of unity, progress, and peace. In summer, marmots peek out from the rocks. Tourists left against the wind, posing beside flags and milestones. In winter, everything vanishes beneath a white blanket, quiet, still, powerful. It's not just a Bayordan. It's a moment where you stand between two worlds and feel infinite. Tucked away in the shadow of Nanga, the killer mountain, lies a place that feels more like a dream than reality. Fairy Meadows, a name that sounds like a fantasy. And when you arrive, you understand why. At nearly 3,300 meters above sea level, Fairy Meadows is not just a destination, it's an awakening. An alpine meadow of emerald green created between pine forests and giants. A place where the night sky glows with stars and the mountain stares back in silence. The road, Fairy Meadows, is not easy. You must pass through Raikot village, then brave one of the most dangerous jeep tracks in the world. A narrow dirt road carved into the mountain face, where every turn is a taste of courage. Then comes the trek, a winding path through forests and valleys, where the air gets thinner, but the views get deeper. And when you arrive, you are rewarded with a sight few places on earth can offer. From the meadows, Nanga, the world's mountain, rises like a wall of white fury, over 8,100 meters tall, majestic, merciless, unforgettable. But the meadow itself, soft, serene, timeless. At night, campfires crackle under starlit skies. The Milky Way stretches across the heavens, and in that silence, surrounded by giants, you feel something few places can give: complete peace. Fairy Meadows doesn't just show you beauty, it reminds you of abandon. In the far north of Pakistan, beyond winding rivers and towering cliffs, lies a valley carved by glaciers and guarded by giants. This is Skardu, the beating heart of Baltistan, where mountains rise with unmatched fury and valleys whisper secrets of ancient worlds. Here, beauty isn't just seen, it's felt. Imagine a desert, but not like the one you know. This one is cold, silent, surreal, nestled at over 7,500 feet above sea level. In the heart of Skardu lies a place of wonder and contradiction, Kitpana Desert, also called the Cold Desert, one of the highest deserts on Earth. Golden sand dunes stretch across the landscape, gently sculpted by winds that whisper through the Karakoram. In winter, these dunes are dusted with snow, creating a view few could even imagine. A frozen desert, glowing under the northern sky. Mountains rise in every direction, sharp, silent watching. And in the distance, the Indus River flows, reminding you that life is never far, even in stillness. Tucked away in the heart of Pakistan's Gilgit-Baltistan region, just a short drive from the mountain town of Skardu, lies a hidden gem that seems to have leapt straight out of a dream, Lower Kachura Lake, also known as Shangri-La Lake. At 2,500 meters above sea level, this lake is surrounded by snow-capped peaks, wild apricot orchards, and pine-covered slopes. The water? A deep, glassy green that reflects the sky like a mirror. It's peaceful, pristine, and absolutely surreal. This spot rose to fame thanks to the iconic Shangri-La Resort, founded in 1983. Its red-roofed cottages blend perfectly into the landscape, an oasis of comfort amidst rugged wilderness. The resort even features a unique restaurant built into the fuselage of a crashed airplane, making it a destination unlike any other. This is Deosai National Park, one of the highest plateaus in the world, rising over 13,000 feet into clouds. A land so remote it feels sacred. Here, the earth stretches endlessly, covered in meadows that come alive with wildflowers in summer. Rivers cut through silence. The wind hums across a sea of golden grass. And above it all, the mighty Nanga Parbat watches in the distance. At the heart of this highland realm lies Siasar Lake, the blind lake, a silent mirror reflecting both sky and soul. Its icy blue waters are fed by glacier melt, resting still amidst the heavens. But Deosai is not empty. It breathes with life. Marmots chatter in the breeze. Golden eagles soar above. And if you're lucky, you might glimpse the rare Himalayan brown bear, roaming free, protected in this sanctuary. This is not a destination, it's a feeling, a reminder of how vast, how wild, and how beautiful the world still is. This is Deosai, the land of giants. He valley winds like a silver thread, lined with cedarn forests, wooden homes, and the eternal rhythm of water meeting stone. From to Arankel, every village feels like poetry made real. But Kashmir's true heart is its people. Warm, resilient, proud. They carry centuries of tradition in their hands and hospitality in their souls. Azad Kashmir is not just a place. It's a feeling, a connection to nature, to heritage, to peace. a city of kings and conquerors, of poets and revolutionaries, where every brick tells a story and every street hums with a song of centuries past. Lahore wears its history with pride, from the Mughal splendor of the mosque to the echoes of Freedom 8. It is a museum and an open skies. But Lahore is not just monuments, it's madness and magic. Anarkali Bazaar busts with colors and smells. Rickshaws weave through the streets like threads in a tapestry. And everywhere, the scent of food. Modern Lahore rises alongside its heritage. Art meets architecture. Tradition meets tomorrow. And still, it never loses its soul. In the heart of Lahore, faith, history, and identity stand side by side, a sacred triangle of soul, struggle, and pride. At its center lies Data Darbar, the shrine of Hazrat Ali Hajwari, a place where time slows and hearts awaken. Here, prayer rises like incense, and the whispers of Qawwali fill the air with longing and love. Just beyond, a different kind of devotion rises into the sky, Minar, Pakistan, where dreams once spoken became a nation. This is where the call for freedom echoed, and history stood still for a moment that changed everything. Surrounding them both is Greater Iqbal Park, a garden of reflection and remembrance. Here, families gather, children run free, and the past walks quietly beside the present. This is Badshahi Masjid, the royal mosque, a symbol of faith, empire, and elegance, built in 1673 by Emperor Aurangzeb. Its red sandstone walls and white marble domes have stood for centuries, watching over a city that never sleeps. Here, 100,000 souls once gathered for prayer. The echo of footsteps across marble, the hush before the azan, it's a place that humbles you. At the edge of the Margalla Hills, where mountains meet sky, stands a structure both ancient in spirit and modern in form. This is Faisal Masjid, the National Mosque of Pakistan, a symbol of unity, faith, and architectural brilliance. Gifted by King Faisal of Saudi Arabia and designed by a Turkish architect, it breaks from tradition. No domes, no arches, just sweeping white lines reaching skyward like hands in prayer. These are the Kata's Raj temples, sacred to Hindus, revered by history and etched into the spiritual soul of South Asia. Dedicated to Lord Shiva, these ancient temples encircle a crystal-clear pond, believed to be formed from the tears of Shiva himself, mourning the loss of his wife Sati. Legends live in these stones. The footsteps of pilgrims, philosophers, and emperors echo through its corridors, from the Mahabharata to the Maharajas of old. Welcome to Multan, the ancient city of saints, sun, and silence. A city where time is heavy with history, where dust carries the prayers of centuries past. Multan is not just a place. It is a living shrine of devotion, mysticism, and spiritual majesty. And at its heart stands a monument of faith and grandeur, the tomb of Hazrat Shah Rukn Alam. Built in the 14th century, this towering masterpiece of Tughlaq architecture is more than a resting place. It is a beacon of peace, a spiritual lighthouse that has guided millions toward light and love. And far beyond, in the mystical land of Yuk Sharif, another soul rests, Bibi Jaundi, a noble saint and scholar of the 15th century. Her tomb, delicate, weathered, and resilient, rises like poetry from sands. Decorated in glazed blue tiles, it stands as both a spiritual sanctuary and an architectural wonder. border of Punjab and Balochistan lies Fort Monroe, not just a scenic hill station, but home to a modern marvel of engineering, the Fort Monroe Steel Bridge. This bridge, built as part of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, is a vital link in the effort to modernize South Punjab's infrastructure. Spanning approximately 33 kilometers, the project includes 8 steel bridges, gracefully woven to the rugged mountains. The goal? To transform the once dangerous and winding road from Dera Ghazi Khan to Quetta into a safer, faster, and more reliable route. With these bridges in place, the region now enjoys better connectivity and reduced travel time. But the impact goes beyond logistics. These bridges are now drawing visitors and boosting local tourism. More and more travelers are heading to Fort Monroe to witness not only the natural beauty, but also this incredible feat of modern construction, the Fort Monroe Steel Bridge, a shining example that with vision and determination, even mountains can be bridged. In the heart of southern Punjab, where the land stretches endlessly beneath the sun, lies the majestic Khalistan Desert, a timeless sea of golden sands, whispers of history and stories carved by the wind. Known locally as Rohi, Khalistan covers over 25,000 square kilometers. Its vastness touching the borders of India's Thar Desert. But this is more than just barren land. This desert breathes culture, resilience, and heritage. Centuries ago, it was part of the mighty Hakra River system. The ancient Indus Valley civilization once flourished here, and traces of that lost world still echo beneath the sands. At the center of it all stands Darawar Fort, massive, majestic, and mysterious. Its 40 towering bastions rise from the desert like a mirage, guarding secrets in the Nawabs of Bahawalpur and the dynasties that came before. Today, the Khalistan Desert is home to nomadic tribes who live in harmony with its harsh climate. They raise camels, weave colorful textiles, and keep alive centuries-old traditions passed down through generations. Every year, the desert awakens during the famous Khalistan Jeep Rally, a celebration of speed, skill, and culture that draws thousands of visitors and adventurers. The Khalistan Desert, where silence speaks, sands remember, and the past still walks with the wind. Hidden in the arid hills of Sindh, like a forgotten monument carved into the earth, lies a colossal mystery, Ranakot Fort. A fortress so vast, it's often called the Great Wall of Sindh. Spanning nearly 32 kilometers, Ranakot is one of the largest forts in the world. Yet its origins remain shrouded in legend. Who built it? When? And why such scale and such isolation? These questions still echo through its ancient stone walls. Some believe it dates back to the Sasanian era. Others link it to the Talpers of the 19th century. But one thing is certain. Ranakot is not just a fort. It's a marvel of forgotten engineering hidden in plain sight. 4 grand gates lead into this walled world, each guarding pathways through vast courtyards, ruined watchtowers, and crumbling bastions. The most famous among them, the Sand Gate, a dramatic entrance winding through rugged cliffs and time-worn trails. As the golden sun sets over the hills, Ranakot glows in silence, majestic, haunting, and proud, a witness to centuries of wind, dust, and forgotten glory. Balochistan, Pakistan's largest yet most underexplored province, is a land of stark contrasts. from towering mountains and vast deserts to pristine beaches and ancient heritage. Stretching along its rugged coastline is the spectacular Makran Coastal Highway, a modern engineering marvel that connects Karachi to Gwadar. This highway is more than just a road. It's a journey through breathtaking scenery, where jagged limestone cliffs, untouched beaches, and surreal rock formations like the Princess of Hope stand as silent sentinels of time. At the end of this journey lies Gwadar, a once sleepy fishing village now transformed into a strategic deep-sea port city, central to the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPC. With its crystal-clear waters, crescent-shaped beaches, and growing infrastructure, Gwadar symbolizes a new era of connectivity and development. Together, Balochistan's raw natural beauty, the coastal highway's scenic passage, and Gwadar's rising economic promise paint a powerful portrait of a region quietly stepping into the global spotlight. Tucked away in the dramatic landscapes of Balochistan, Hingol National Park is Pakistan's largest and most surreal natural sanctuary, a place where the desert meets the sea and myths walk alongside nature. Spread across over 6,000 square kilometers, Hingol is home to a stunning variety of wildlife, towering mountains, winding rivers, and coastal plains. But it's not just the biodiversity that makes this land remarkable, it's the wonders carved by time and legend. Among these marvels stand the Princess of Hope, a natural rock formation shaped over centuries by the wind and erosion, rising like a silent guardian from the barren earth. Her figure is so graceful, it seems as though nature itself sculpted a statue. Named by Angelina Jolie during her visit, the princess has since become a symbol of the mysterious beauty of the Makran region. Not far from her throne lies another wonder, the Chandigarh mud volcanoes, sacred sites for Hindu pilgrims, and geological phenomena that bubble with ancient energy. These volcanoes, alive with gurgling mud and spiritual reverence, are a place where pilgrims make offerings and seek blessings before continuing their journey to the Hinglage Mata Temple nearby. In Hingol National Park, earth, history, and faith converge in a landscape unlike any other. It's a place that humbles the heart, stirs the spirit, and reminds us that some stories are written not with words, but in stone, fire, and sand.